The worst thing that ever happened to most gamblers was not losing everything on a single night. It was winning. Winning big. Winning early. Winning in a way that felt like the universe had just handed them a key. Because that moment, that single moment, is exactly what the casino engineers, the behavioral scientists, and the floor managers have been waiting for. That moment was never an accident. It was a design. Comment yes if you have ever walked out of a casino ahead only to find yourself walking back in within 48 hours. Comment no if you think what happened to you was purely your own decision. Either way, stay with me, because what I am about to show you changes how you will see every casino floor, every machine, and every spin you have ever taken. My name does not matter. What matters is where I have been. I spent years inside the operational structure of casino environments, not as a player, not as a tourist, but close enough to the machinery to understand how the mathematics, the psychology, and the floor design are built to function as a single, unified organism. What I am giving you today is not a theory. It is not a conspiracy. It is a documented pattern of behavior that the industry has studied, refined, and perfected over more than 6 decades. This is not entertainment. This is intelligence. Most gamblers walk into a casino believing one fundamental thing: that the games are random, that their choices matter, and that winning is proof of skill, luck, or fate. That belief is the single most valuable asset the casino owns. Not the machines, not the chips, not the lights or the architecture. Your belief in the randomness of the experience is the product they are selling, and they protect it with extraordinary precision. Here is the reality. Casinos are not gambling facilities. They are behavioral modification environments. Every element of the physical space, from the layout of the floor to the temperature of the air to the placement of the nearest exit sign, has been studied, tested, and optimized for one purpose: to keep you in a specific emotional state. Not happy, not sad, something more useful, something between hope and momentum. A state where rational thinking is suppressed and pattern-seeking behavior is amplified. The science behind this is not secret. It exists in academic literature. It exists in internal industry documents. It exists in the design patents of the machines themselves. But most people never look there because they are too busy looking at the reels. Let me show you the first layer. When you win big, and I mean genuinely big, a jackpot, a major payout, a moment where the machine screams and the lights go off and the floor staff appears with a clipboard. That moment is the beginning of your most dangerous phase as a gambler. Not because you are celebrating, but because your brain has just received a chemical reward that it will spend the rest of its life trying to recreate. This is not metaphor. This is neuroscience. The dopamine response triggered by a large, unexpected financial reward is indistinguishable from the response triggered by highly addictive substances. The brain does not differentiate between a $100,000 jackpot and a chemical hit. It registers both the same way, as a survival event. Something extraordinary happened, something worth repeating, something worth chasing. And the casino knows this. They have known it since the 1970s, when behavioral psychology first began influencing machine design. They know that the player who wins big will return, not because they are greedy, but because their brain has been biologically rewired to associate that physical space with the most intense reward experience of their recent life. This is not gambling. This is behavioral engineering. Now here is where it becomes darker. The win was not entirely accidental. I am not telling you the games are rigged in a crude, illegal sense. What I am telling you is more sophisticated than that. Modern slot machines operate on something called a random number generator, an RNG. And yes, technically, every spin is mathematically random, but the distribution of outcomes, the volatility profile of the machine, the payout frequency, and the size of the rewards, all of those are not random. All of those are set by design. Casino floor managers work with machine placement data, player tracking systems, and payout analytics that would impress any hedge fund operation. They know which machines are hitting, which sections of the floor are underperforming, and critically, they know the profile of the player sitting in front of each machine through the loyalty card system that every major casino in the country uses. That card you swiped at the desk when you signed up for free drinks and points, that is a data collection instrument. Every session, every machine, every bet size, every duration of play, it is all logged, analyzed, and used. The casino knows more about your gambling behavior than your spouse does. Which of these points has already changed how you see the floor? Comment the number that hit you hardest, 1, 2, or 3, because we are just getting started. Here's the second layer. After the big win, something very specific happens to your psychology that the industry calls the reference point shift. Before the win, your baseline was 0. You came in with $200, and losing $200 felt like a real loss. But after a $10,000 jackpot, your brain recalibrates. 10,000 is the new 0, the new reference point. Suddenly, losing $500 does not feel like a setback. It feels like a minor fluctuation. Losing $2,000 barely registers as significant because your brain is now anchored to a number that the casino helped create. This is precisely why major jackpot winners so frequently return to the casino and lose everything they won within a very short window of time. It is not stupidity. It is not weakness. It is a documented psychological effect called loss aversion recalibration, and it is one of the most powerful forces the casino relies on. The bigger the win, the more completely it resets your internal financial compass. And the casino does not need to do anything after the win. They just need to open the doors and keep the machines running. The floor is designed for exactly this phase. When a player returns after a large win, they tend to move toward machines with higher denomination bets. They tend to stay longer. They tend to resist the psychological triggers that would normally make a regular player walk away. Because deep inside the limbic system, there is a belief, not a logical thought, but a deep animal belief that what happened once can happen again, that the lightning can strike twice, that the code of the universe was cracked in that room, and it might crack again. This is the hook, and it was set the moment that first jackpot landed. Now I want to talk about the machine design itself, because this is where the engineering becomes genuinely extraordinary. Modern slot machines are not the simple three-reel mechanical devices that existed in the mid-20th century. They are sophisticated computer programs designed by teams that include psychologists, game theorists, sound engineers, and interface designers. Every aspect of the user experience has been studied and optimized for what the industry calls time on device, the amount of time a player continues playing without stopping. The sounds are not random. Each winning sound is calibrated to trigger a positive response. Even sounds that play on near misses, where the outcome was close to a win but was not, are engineered to feel encouraging. The visual design of the reels create patterns that the human eye reads as near wins, even when the mathematical outcome was not close to winning at all. This is legal. This is documented, and this is deliberately designed to keep you in the chair. The near-miss effect is one of the most studied and most powerful tools in the machine designer's toolkit. When two jackpot symbols land on the pay line and a third stops just above or just below, your brain processes that outcome almost identically to an actual win. The same areas activate, the same anticipation fires, and your motivation to spin again, to finish what almost happened, spikes dramatically. The machine did not almost pay you. It was never close. But your brain cannot tell the difference, and the machine was built to exploit that limitation. There is also the concept of losses disguised as wins. Many modern machines pay out combinations that are technically wins but pay less than the original bet. You bet $3, the machine lights up, plays a winning sound, and pays you back 70 cents. You just lost $2.30. But your brain registered a win. The sound said win. The lights said win. This is not an accident. This is the machine lying to your nervous system in real time, and it is completely legal. Here is what I want you to understand about the psychology of the regular player. Not the tourist, not the occasional visitor, but the person who returns week after week. The casino has built a relationship with that person that is more psychologically sophisticated than most human relationships. It is a relationship built on intermittent reinforcement, the most addictive behavioral pattern known to science. Not consistent rewards, not consistent punishment. Random, unpredictable, occasional rewards buried inside long stretches of loss. B.F. Skinner demonstrated this with pigeons in the 1950s. When a reward is given every time a lever is pressed, the behavior is strong, but stops quickly when the reward stops. When the reward is given randomly and unpredictably, the behavior becomes nearly impossible to extinguish. The pigeon keeps pressing the lever. The gambler keeps spinning the reel. The mechanism is identical, and the casino industry studied that research with great interest. This is why players who lose consistently do not stop. They cannot stop, not because they are weak-willed, but because intermittent reinforcement has restructured the behavioral pathways in their brain at a level that willpower alone cannot consistently override. Awareness is not the cure, but awareness is where the cure must begin. They have become someone. They have a rank. They have perks. They have something to protect and something to achieve. And the only way to maintain that identity is to keep playing, keep spending, and keep feeding the system that created it. This is not gambling culture. This is manufactured loyalty through status psychology. Before I take you into the final layer of this, I want to be direct with you. Nothing in this video is a strategy. Nothing here guarantees a win. Nothing here gives you an edge against mathematics. The house advantage is real, it is permanent, and it is baked into every machine and every game by regulatory requirement and design. What I am offering you is not a cheat code. I am offering you a map of the territory so that when you choose to walk into it, you do so with your eyes open. This does not beat the casino. It stops the casino from beating you blindly. The difference between a person who walks into a casino aware of these systems and a person who walks in unaware is not the outcome of any single session. It is the pattern of behavior over time. Awareness does not change the math. Awareness changes the decisions, and decisions, accumulated over time, determine whether the casino owns your financial future or whether you do. The final layer is the one the industry least wants discussed. It is the design of the return visit. After a significant loss, not a big win, but a crushing loss, most players enter a phase that casino behavioral analysts have a name for internally. It is not a term used in public marketing. It is used in floor reports and player retention analysis. The phase is called the recovery seeker profile. A player who has lost a significant amount, especially a player who lost a previous major win, returns to the casino in a specific psychological state. They are not looking for entertainment. They are not there for the experience. They are there to fix something, to recover what was taken, to restore the reference point. This state is the most financially dangerous state a player can be in, and the casino recognizes it, tracks it through their loyalty systems, and responds to it. Targeted direct mail, personal calls from host staff, comped stay offers, not randomly sent at the statistically optimal moment in the loss cycle when the player's recovery motivation is at its highest and their rational resistance is at its lowest. The timing of those offers is not coincidence, it is calculated. The former casino host who sends you a personalized note saying the property misses you and would like to welcome you back with a 2-night suite and $200 in free play is not your friend. They are a retention specialist operating within a data-driven system designed to bring a high-value player back to the floor at precisely the moment they are most vulnerable. This is the machine behind the machine. This is the system behind the system. And it begins, all of it, with that first big win. The win that felt like a gift. The win that felt like confirmation. The win that your brain recorded as the most important financial event of your recent life. That win was the door. Everything else was built behind it. Comment system if you are ready for part 2, where I go into the next layer, the player tracking architecture, the AI-assisted behavioral prediction systems now being deployed in major casino properties, and the specific psychological profiles that casinos identify, classify, and target with extraordinary precision. This is only the surface. The deeper system is even darker than what you have seen here. And the people operating it are not villains in the theatrical sense. They are professionals. They are analysts. They are experts in human behavior operating within a completely legal framework. That is what makes this more unsettling than any crime. Because there is no crime to point to, only a design. A design that starts the moment you win.